Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna be reacting to NFL Week 2. Well, not reacting, but like recapping, I guess. Either way. So let's hop into this video. Now, disclaimer, we are not recapping the Commandos and Packers game. That's a separate video, and I do not want to recap the Dolphins and Patriots game. And plus, that was already a video to begin with. That was a pretty high-performing video, so that's pretty cool. Thanks, y'all, I guess. Alright. So let's start with our first game, Dallas versus New York, and holy shit, yeah, this was an all-time classic, dude. This is probably the second best game of the year. Even best, though, Russell Wilson, god damn, 450 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick. But even Dak Prescott had himself a fucking game. Malik Neighbors went off. God damn, this is crazy from the Giants. The Cowboys too. Oh yeah, the Cowboys look very good too. Damn, that was a very good game. That was crazy. Nah, this was very good. Overtime, just one of the best games this season. It was pretty like not boring, but it was getting kind of just like mid. But it got very good at the end, dude. Wow, just wow. Russell Wilson's back, and this is what the Giants were supposed to be, and it just sucks having them having the worst schedule in the NFL because they are like an easy schedule. God damn, this is a playoff team, but they got a difficult schedule. They're only going to win like 3 games. Who knows? Actually, they might be good. We got the Steelers and Seahawks, and upset. Aaron Rodgers is back to his form. He's back. He's back being washed, and Sam Darnold, he's back being the Minnesota Vikings, and he's back. Jackson Smith, the Jigma, himself a pretty good game. Same with Kenneth Walker, goddamn. The Steelers couldn't do anything on offense, kind of sad. Did they do anything? I need Jonnu Smith to do something in my fantasy team, but he didn't. And I literally started Jonnu like this week because I saw him cooking last week and he just sucked. Meanwhile, with the Seahawks, yeah, they're back. Well, not back, but Cooper Kupp too. Damn, he had himself a pretty good game. Kind of underestimating Cooper Kupp a little bit. I'm sorry about that. Overall, though, that was a pretty good performance from the Seahawks. Then we got the Rams and Titans. The Rams, yeah, they had a good game. Stafford went for 298 yards, 2 touchdowns in a pick. Kyron Williams had himself a fun game. But the receiving too, the great duo of Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua. God damn. I had Devontae Adams on my fantasy team. I know, he performed well. It's the only one that showed up for the team. Actually, no, Jaden Daniels had himself a fine game. The Titans, they couldn't do anything, but Campbell's still a stud. He is very good. Tony Pollard had himself a good game. And Calvin Ridley had a better game than last week. Not gonna lie, though, the Titans, like, they were doing fine. Like, at one point, I think the Titans were leading, no? Yeah, at halftime. But then they completely, well, actually, no, yeah. But they completely, folded at the end. They got the Bills destroying the Jets, 30-10. Josh Allen looked like shit. Typical Josh Allen. But, James Cook had himself, the game. He is the MVP of the team. Josh Allen absolutely sucks. If James Cook wasn't on the team, the Bills would have still won because the Jets, Justin Fields got injured. He wasn't even having himself a good game, but he still got injured. Tyrod Taylor's ass. I don't know how long Justin Fields is going to be out. Depends, because if he's out for a little bit, that's going to affect the Jets a lot. So, yeah. Everyone else, though, yeah, no one did do anything special at all. I skipped the Dolphins and Patriots game. That was in some video. We got the Bengals beating the Jaguars somehow. Jake Browning had 3 interceptions. And plus, Joe Burrow's out with a turf toe injury. Trevor Lawrence is doing turnovers like he usually does. Brian Thomas Jr. had himself a pretty disappointing game, not gonna lie. He had himself a, yeah, 49 yards. It's kind of sad. Malik Neighbors had a better game. Trevor Lawrence was pretty bad. Jamar Chase went off. T. Higgins, yeah, the Bengals are back. Who ever thought the Bengals were going to go 2-0? Now the Bengals going 0-2, but now they're going 2-0. But I think they're going to start losing. Got Jake Browning. But Jake Browning looked fine. He just needs to stop throwing picks. Alright, we got the 49ers beating the Saints. And Mac Jones looks good. Nah, Mac Jones is still ass. He's just faced on the Saints. The Saints are like the worst team in all of football. We all know that. Christian McCaffrey had himself a good game. And yeah, the 49ers are killed by injuries. And again, if they weren't facing on the Saints, they would have lost. But the Saints, Watlow had himself a Watlow game. Actually, not gonna lie, that was actually better than last week. Alvin Kamara had himself a pretty good game. Chris Olave is doing something. She's Shaheed. Yeah. Everyone else though, yeah, kind of sad for the Saints. The Saints gonna be a tanking year. Alright, we got the Baltimore Ravens absolutely destroying the Cleveland Browns. 41-17. Lamar Jackson just went off. Derrick Henry only needs 73 yards, so that's kind of sad. Then DeAndre Hopkins still going off. Zay Flowers had himself a good game. Then the Browns, yeah, it's gonna be a long year for those Browns. Jerry Jeudy had himself a fine game. Christian Jenkins had himself a fine game too. Joe Flacco was washed now, I think. And Dylan Gabriel with that little hint we had, yeah, he looks fine, I guess. But that was because he was facing up backups at this point. They really matter. But the Ravens took their anger out on the Browns after choking to the Bills. And the referees hoping the Bills win the game. Now we got the Lions and Bills, and just like the Ravens, they took out their anger on Chicago. They dropped 52 points. This week 2 was very, like, entertaining, legit. Like, look at these games, though. I'm just saying, the entertaining ones. We got the Giants and Cowboys. I guess Patriots and Dolphins are back and forth, so I guess, but still sucked. Jaguars and Bengals. Lions and Bills wasn't very, fun to watch, but it was still cool to see the Lions destroy them, I guess. 52 points, and we thought the Lions were going to be bad without Ben Johnson. I was totally not those type of people. Nope. But the Lions dropped 52 points, so they're not done. Jared Goff, 334 yards, 5 touchdowns. Jamil Gibbs, 94 yards and a touchdown. Amon-Ra St. Brown, damn. Caleb Williams, ass. DeAndre Swift, fine. Wilma Doomsday, good. Yeah. Legit. David Montgomery had himself a good game. Javison Williams, Isaac Tesla. Wow. And then the Bills, well, yeah, Caleb Williams might actually be a bust. Might even stop putting the bust title on Caleb Williams soon, man. Like, you have Ben Johnson. But the bad thing about Ben Johnson, he doesn't know defense. He has no idea what defense is. He's an offensive-minded head coach, so. But if he had Matt Eberflus, the Lions would have scored at least, like, 30 points. But Matt Eberflus will only put up, like, 10. So, it's either way, it's going to be pathetic. Then, like, even how pathetic Matt Eberflus is, too. He gives up 37 points to the fucking Giants. Anyways, we got this game. The Colts beat the Broncos. The Colts are 2-0, which I'm a little happy because now that blowout loss to the Colts doesn't look that bad. So, I guess I can use that, but yeah, and I had the Colts being like the worst team in the NFL. Oh my god. Fuck. Yeah, Daniel Jones is going to have a Sam Darnold type season, isn't he? And then he's going to be probably the franchise quarterback because the Colts have like no other good quarterbacks. Jonathan Taylor had himself a fucking game. God damn. Bro, holy shit. Tyler Willen had himself a good game. Alec Pierce, Josh Downs, Michael Pittman. God, Daniel Jones. The Broncos, Bo Nix. He also had himself a good game. J.K. Dobbins, Joey Franklin, Marvin Mims. All those, yeah, they were pretty good, I guess. The defense was good too, I guess, but At least the Colts loss doesn't look that bad on the Dolphins. Alright, we got this game. The Panthers and Cardinals. And the Cardinals almost choke, but Bryce Young. Okay, we're letting off Bryce Young a little bit. He's back. It was just week 1, right? It was just week 1. So, maybe the rain kind of like fucked with Bryce Young a little bit. Maybe he just wasn't focused. Because damn, 328 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick. But, you know what though? Wow. Taylor McMillan had himself a pretty good game. Hunter Renfrow, he is back. 2 touchdowns. Yeah. Amazing. Kyler Murray had himself a Kyler Murray type game. James Conner had himself a James Conner type game. Marvin Harrison Jr., kind of sad, but we suspect of Kyler Murray, right? Kind of fun. I wouldn't be surprised if the Panthers would have beat the Cardinals here, but they didn't. The Panthers' defense, though, is so bad, but I had hope in that offense. And Bryce Young, again, damn, he looked good in that game. Alright, we got the Chiefs and Eagles Super Bowl rematch, and it was kind of like a quiet game, but the Chiefs dynasty might actually be over, guys. The Mahomes looked kind of sad. The leading receiver was Travis Kelce, 61 yards. Yeah, I think we need Rashid Rice back, or even, well, the Chiefs need Rashid Rice back, or maybe Xavier Worthy. Imagine if Travis Kelce did not kill that man. Imagine. Even that Mahomes was the leading rusher. Mahomes, yeah. It's just Mahomes on that Chiefs team, bro. Kelsey's a legend, but, like, he's washed. Hollywood Brown is actually bad. I can't believe I just replaced him for Jalen Waddle, and Jalen Waddle had himself a pretty good game. I'm sad. And same with Juju Smith. And the Eagles, Jalen Hurts had himself a terrible game, not a good game. He only had 100 yards, dude. He barely passed 100 yards. Just proves that he's a fucking running back. Saquon, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, and had pretty sad games too. But what you suspect with a fucking running back as a quarterback? And then Saquon again. Saquon had a Saquon type game, you know? So, yeah. And then we end off with the boring ass game with the Vikings and the Falcons. I got a little entertaining at the 4th quarter like usual, but it was just bad. J.J. McCarthy looks bad. He does. Yeah, he might not be him, bro. Oh God. Michael Penix looks good. I need Drake London to do something to, clinch my fantasy, but he didn't. I'm pissed. Bijan, though, he had a very good game. Bijan might actually be the leading rusher this year. Jordan Mason, Justin Jefferson had a good game, I guess. And it drops to some random people, I guess. Yeah, overall, it was kind of a sad game for the Vikings. And then the Falcons, this game was just boring as shit. And then we got 2 Monday Night Football games. Meaning that you're probably going to be getting a triple upload tomorrow, so can't wait for that, guys, right? Got power rankings plus the 2 recaps, so y'all probably excited, right? You better be excited. Anyways, so that is going to wrap up for the video for NFL recap week 2. It was very fun, very interesting. Hopefully the Monday Night Football games are better than the Viking game. Hopefully it's a little bit better. But still, hopefully you enjoyed. I'm going to be leaving the video here. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in tomorrow's triple upload. Y'all can't wait for that, right? Yeah, you're excited.